Murray Cup race simulation. 3, 2, 1, go.
And here we go! Pilots are in place and the ships are set. Couldn't argue for better conditions to race in, I suppose. Call me old-fashioned, but I follow the Wayland Vickers mantra. I love it when the weather's in the place. There are so many drivers in the rear of this pack who have just not had the opportunity yet to show what they can do. The pilots leading this race have to be wondering, is this the time to play it cautious, or is it the time to really go for it? It's outstanding that these pilots have been able to maintain this pace. I've said it once, I've said it 100 times, perfecting the foundations of racing will always dominate tech. It's outstanding that these pilots have been able to maintain this pace. My understanding is that Consolidate Outlands owner Silas Kerner is enjoying the race today from his luxury box. Well, let me just say this, Silas, if you're on the market for a new best friend, I'm available. Excellent. Looks like some of the pilots have chosen to hang back and avoid the whole struggling to win altogether. This is just dreadful flying.
Checkpoint.
The pack's really starting to separate. There are so many drivers in the rear of this pack who have just not had the opportunity yet to show what they can do.
Checkpoint.
Couldn't argue for better conditions to race in, I suppose. Call me old-fashioned, but I follow the Wayland Vickers mantra. I love it when the weather's in the bonus. At this level of competition, seeing flying this shoddy is almost a rare treat.
Checkpoint. Checkpoint.
Now it's a race. At this level of competition, seeing flying this shoddy is almost a rare treat. I can't believe I'm watching this. Some pilots try to win through pure speed, others with precision, and by the looks of it, we have a few pilots out there trying to win through a new strategy. I'm going to dub being awful. As an announcer, it's important that I remain impartial, but as a race fan, I've got to say, the pack's really starting to separate. Oh!
You are leading the race. Checkpoint.
My understanding is that Consolidate Outlands owner Silas Kerner is enjoying the race today from his luxury box. Well, let me just say this.
Checkpoint. Checkpoint.
And around we go for another lap. I've never seen anything like this. This is a clinic of precision and skill. I've never seen anything like this. This is a clinic of precision and skill. We're seeing a lot of ships struggling to get a hold of this track today. I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Perfecting the foundations of racing will always dominate tech. Now it's a race.
Checkpoint. Checkpoint.
Now it's a race. The leader is simply outmatching everyone. It's like they're on a whole other level.
Checkpoint.
There is some exemplary flying happening here today. A real treat. It's outstanding that these pilots have been able to maintain this pace.
Checkpoint.
Big risk there. We'll have to see if they made their move a little too early.
Checkpoint.
Many of the pilots have switched from drinking water during the race to a hydrating gel, just to shave off those precious few grams from their ship's weight.
You have lost.
This is just dreadful flying.
Checkpoint.
Excellent.
Checkpoint.
We're seeing a lot of ships struggling to get a hold of this track today.
Checkpoint.
Nicely done.
Checkpoint. Checkpoint.
As an announcer, it's important that I remain impartial. But as a race fan, I've got to say, to those of you thinking of becoming pilots, this race should be considered a prime example of how not to win races. This is the beginning of the end, the last lap, the final bow, the ultimate circle, the big... New Horizon is really proving itself to be a thinking man's racetrack. To those of you thinking of becoming pilots, this race should be considered a prime example of how not to win races. Some pilots really having an off race. They might want to rethink any plans to buy a lottery ticket tonight. Some pilots really having an off race. They might want to rethink any plans to buy a lottery ticket tonight. With barely meters to spare and at these intense speeds, those rings pose a significant risk. Come on! Look at that precision flying!
Contact.
Well, there are no guarantees in Murray Cup, but this race is starting to look like a sure thing. Well, there are no guarantees in Murray Cup, but this race is starting to look like a sure thing.
Checkpoint.
There we go!
Checkpoint.
Everything is looking neat and tidy as these pilots show off why they're the best in the Empire.
Checkpoint.
With a racetrack this, it can sometimes be difficult for pilots to get a full handle on the pacing they need to set for themselves. There is some exemplary flying happening here today, a real treat.
Checkpoint.
There we go! It's outstanding that these pilots have been able to maintain this pace.
Checkpoint.
I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Perfecting the foundations of racing will always dominate tech. Look at that precision flying.
Checkpoint.
Nicely done. Another lap in the log. Here there was a time for the death threats against me to come to fruition. Let it be now, because racing does not get much. Better conditions to race in, I suppose. Call me old-fashioned, but I follow the Vickers mantra. I love it when the weather's an opponent. A pleasure as always, race fans. Goodbye and keep flying.